Live now. I said 15th.
Yeah, sound and all that.
Should hopefully through the spirit power. Uriah. Yahweh.
Yeah, they might have sent a damn virus to you. Got sound. All right. Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Shai, Ba'ashem,
double honors to the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, and to the few aqua that are listening and learning. All right. Name of this video was going to be that the insurrections are brewing. And real quick, can we get Jeremiah 30:7? Matter of fact, read down to about verse 9.
Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of you."
Yeah, so it's telling you that Jacob's trouble is upon us. And it says, but the elect are going to be saved out of that. And this is happening fast. This is coming really, really quickly, right? And then it says that the Lord's basically, he's going to lift up that standard because he's going to have to, because Esau's putting himself in a position where he is getting ready to start putting his hands on the elect. He's getting ready to start putting his hands on Israel, on all the people for that matter. Not the other people don't really matter, but that is where we are, and that's what's happening. Because this that HR 666 4 6s, well, we know that bill is ready to institute or push forward to get you to the mark of the beast rate for, right? Because what they want to do, they want to test you. Which the test is going to make everybody sick and pop up positive. As a matter of fact, and then they had the nerve to put Bobby Rush's face on it, and now you got Edomites talking about it's a black guy and blah blah blah. That's the Antichrist, and it's like, hey, Jordan Maxwell told you years ago when Barack Obama was put into office, when he was president. Mm-hmm. He said you best believe that this is a good old boy system, and it's still a good old boy system. Right. And they put him in there for whatever reason they wanted him to.
Well, because he's not a Negro. His bloodline goes back to Egypt, the ancient pharaohs of Babylon. They've been in league with different heathens way more than they've been in league with us. They don't look at the heathen nations as they look at the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American Indians. So they dealt with Barack just to use him to make us think that America, we got a chance here in America.
It was all a bunch of bullshit. Yeah. Because they don't deal with Jake like that. But nevertheless, it's not like they really got no love for Ham, because Ham hates them right now. But you best believe that he was just that is still a white man in charge, just like Jordan, right. So-called white man, all right, in charge, just like Jordan Maxwell said. All right, so Bobby didn't come up with any damn thing, right? Bobby only did what the so-called white man Esau Edom allowed him to do. As a matter of fact, he didn't do it. He didn't institute to come up with that at all. They just put his face on it.
Right. Wasn't it Joe Biden that had told one of the Supreme Court judges that he was going to have to rule on them implantable chips?
Yeah,
that's right.
Joe Biden, not Bobby Rush.
That's right. He said in your tenure, you will have to rule on that. Matter of fact, let's go back and find it. Go ahead, brother.
This is Daniel 12:1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of my people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book."
There you go, man. So there's a giant shit ball sitting on the top of a hill, and it's getting ready to start rolling down. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Once that turn, the shit going to hit the fan. All right? And it's the shit going to hit everyone and everything. It's coming down that hill, like a damn rock, like a rock slide, right? Like a damn landslide, man. Because you got, not only do you have the you know, this vaccine is going to lead you up to the mark of the beast.
Right.
But you also have you got the famine, right? You got created. This is a completely pandemic, right? And then it already saying it's the second of the virus. Plus, you got this hornets. All these things haven't even begun to show the damage that they're going to do.
Go ahead. Which y'all embrace just brought out. That's going into the tribulation, but it is going to be tribulation in Revelations 7, verse 14. You know, after in fact, we started 13. It says Revelation 7 and 13. It says, and one of the elders answered, saying unto me, these are they which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, these are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So the elect, you know, going back to that Jeremiah 30 and 7, the time of Jacob's trouble, and that Daniel 12, you know, Michael's standing up. The people that are elected are going to be delivered out of this, man. We don't have our garments, you know, washed. You know, we don't have those pure hearts, man. But this great tribulation has to come. It has to get worse, you know, before it gets better. You know, and that's all for our benefit.
That's right. To see if it's the right one. They send me off on the other ones. But this is on record, and that's the reason why the Most High says thou art inexcusable, oh man. The Most High has given you many opportunities to know the truth. But niggas don't do any research.
Our constitutional journey did not stop then, and it must not
You don't do any research.
stop now, Judge. And we'll be faced with equally consequential decisions in the 21st century. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that. Mark my words before your tenure is over. Can brain scans be used to determine whether a person is inclined?
That was the point right there. So this was way before. That means that this was already working.
Decades
a decade ago, right? At least. All right. 2005, something like that.
I have to look it up to see the exact.
So, nevertheless, this was quite some time ago. So this was already in the workings, man. It had nothing to do with Bobby Rush. They just put his face on it, man.
A person's body to track his every movement. There's actual discussion about that. You will rule. Can a microscopic tag be implanted in a person's body to track his every movement? There's actual discussion about that. You will rule on that. Mark my words before.
That's RFID chips and brain scans. Now, I don't know
that with they're conditioning the people with temperature checking. There was a dude that was making basically poking fun of how these people are ready. Dude didn't even work for Walmart, had a vest and was scanning people, and people were lining up to him, man. Because they wanted to get their cheese. They needed to get those nachos.
The Southside Mike Collins, he just said it. That's that herd mentality, man. Esau practices what you call gradualism. You know,
yeah, little by little.
Niggas call it slowly but surely.
And the boa constrictor calls it being a boa constrictor. Because little by little, he gonna squeeze your ass out into every breath you take.
And the more you squirm,
the more he's going to tighten. Now, this is Benjamin Netanyahu suggests microchipping kids. Slam by 1 second. Now, if you know anything about the Illuminati and the hierarchy in the world, America is that horror on the beast. But guess who's pulling America's strings? It's Israel. All right? America does Israel, and the elites, big bankers tell them to do. And if Donald Trump didn't do it, they will kill Donald Trump.
That's right.
So don't think that people keep us on Donald Trump. He actually would have taken. He's actually one of us. He just shut up.
He'll get Abe Lincoln, Robert Kennedy,
in a heartbeat,
or Bobby Kennedy, quick.
Yes, sir.
Say something.
Full of snatching niggas selling crack. That nigga already locked up. They put the corona mask on. Got 3 stories.
So, like you said, they do the bidding of the Israelis, of the Jewish, not the Israelites.
This guy right here.
CBS. Then I'm gonna just read off this list.
Okay, and that's
all right. It said, who do you think own the press? Hello,
matter of fact, I'm putting
Elon Musk, and then CBS. Sumner Rothstein, Les Lemon, David Rose, New York Times, Oaks Sulzberger, Arthur Sulzberger, publisher, and Mark Thompson. All these people are Jewish. Everyone that I'm The Economist, owned by the Rothschild family, Eli Goldstein, ABC, Bob Iger, Ben Sherwood, James Goldston, all Jewish. Washington Post, Eugene Meyer, Meyer Graham family, Martin Barron, all Jewish.
Yeah, Barron.
BBC, Marcus Agius, Danny Cohen, and Ian Katz, all Jewish. ABC, Brian Roberts, Bob Greenbaugh, Noah Oppenheim, all Jewish. Huffington Post, all right, Ken Lara, Jonah Peretti, Lydia Palgreen, all Jewish.
This is ridiculous.
All right, Ezra Klein, this is Vox. Ezra Klein, Matthew Iglesias, he's the co-founder, both Jewish. CNN, David Levy, Jeff Zucker, Wolf Blitzer. Wow, I didn't know Wolf Blitzer was actually one of the owners. Damn. Oh, he's a chief anchor. Sorry, Salaki. CNN, The Guardian, Anthony Saltz, David Pencil, and Catherine Wiener, all Jewish. And the last one is BuzzFeed, Jonah Peretti, Ken Lehrer, and Ben Smith is the editor-in-chief, all Jewish. All right, so you
CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, Huffington Post. Go ahead.
Give me that their voice, that tongue going through the earth, the water, brother.
Because you see, look at this.
So they're controlling the vibration, and controlling the information that you hear, the images that you see, and if you think that they're not manipulating things to their benefit, you are out of your goddamn mind.
Can I make a point?
Absolutely.
Now they want to make each one of these news places will say they're not one-sided, right? Is the ownership, according to all the different races, is that one-sided?
That's about as biased as you can be.
So how can you not be one-sided? You know what I'm saying? So you tell where's the Chinese a mega voice? Where's the Japanese mega voice? Where's the Persian and mega voice? What's the so-called Hamite African voice? Where's the or Arabic voice? And we ain't even dealing with the Israelites, man. All right, the true is a real Negro, Latino, Native Americans.
This
right?
also proves too that there's no way that they could be the people of the Lord, because the people of the Lord would have no power, no control, none whatsoever. They would be on the bottom in every society that they were in.
Salah.
All right.
The leader of the people of the Lord would never endorse the chip.
And just for the photo, you
find that. Go ahead, read it, brother.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 9.
Put that image back up, brother. What?
No, start it here.
Where you want to start at? 8?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Psalm 73 and 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Right. So they speak against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth, because these people do everything that's opposite to what the scriptures say, man. Even in their made up religion, Judaism. Judaism isn't biblical at all. They have a whole other book that they follow. All right, which is complete contrary to the Holy Scriptures, man. All right. Well, the main book that they use is the Talmud. I know that they use, what was that other one, the Kabbalah?
Kabbalah,
right? But the main book that they use, that their rabbis I learned in, all right, is the Talmud. The Talmud is in complete opposition of the Bible, man.
It's clean contrary.
Kabbalah.
Clean contrary.
Make
All right.
niggas cool.
But if you can, Jackie, let's go bring it back to where you were.
Oh,
you can go all the way to Jeremiah. Go all the way to verse 10. Absolutely.
This is Micah 2 and 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
There you go.
All right, and you can see that it's in the power of their hand
Right.
that they have, and that's all got to do with those like the Trilateral Commission
Yeah.
and all that. That they just brought up everything.
Yeah, the CFR.
Yeah, the Council of Foreign Relations,
And then the
Yep.
Trilateral Commission.
Yep.
Right. Those are all controlled by, Amalek.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And they went and brought up everything, and so they put out, what's pious, what's good, what's bad, what's this, what's that. You know what I'm
And then
saying?
they created that term anti.
Yep.
That's been one of their biggest weapons. Right. The whole anti thing.
They say the pen is mightier than the sword.
Right.
Yep.
Is some more than that?
That's basically the point. I'm going to go with
That's
the elder.
awesome.
All right, good. All right, Con, because I got something to back that up, and then I want to hit that what Benjamin, not a Jew, said. He said clearly he wants to microchip the kids and people. So they're letting you know this is their agenda. They're not hiding it anymore.
Especially now that he said it. That's right. Because he's a mouthpiece of all those people we just
Of the
read about.
That's right.
Right. So
He's the mouthpiece of the elites.
Because if you don't, look, Benjamin Netanyahu is over Donald Trump.
That's
You
right.
best believe that.
Oh yes.
Right, Israel got caught spying on the White House, and ain't no repercussions. This ain't happening like it's happening with anybody that's
They've
And
always.
that was just. But look, but who owns the media?
That's right. All the
They
Jews.
own it.
Yeah.
So that was controlled opposition.
Yeah.
Right.
That was just controlled opposition, man. And Ray, were there any repercussions to that? No.
No.
If that happened, some other nation,
We would've went to war.
sanctions and everything else. So you can expound to people that's giving you billions in welfare every year, because that's the biggest welfare state in the world, by the way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Facts, right? Because they love to talk about, especially Judah on welfare, and the biggest welfare state. First of all, the biggest recipients of welfare in America are Edomites, so-called
right.
white people. And the biggest welfare state in the world, the reason why America is broke, because they give all their money away to the Israelis. They support and take care of Israel, man, over their own.
They've been getting stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been
They get
getting stimulated,
stimulus
bro.
all the time.
Yeah, they've been getting stimulation
So
checks.
what
for a
is
minute.
6 to 10 billion a year? 6 to 10
Right.
billion a year.
Right.
We knew to this. They true to this shit.
Right.
They stimulate.
They're getting so many millions every day just for the military.
Mhm.
Since the 40s.
Right.
Yeah.
God damn.
So you got that, yeah?
So going back to this Jeremiah
Damn.
30:7, it says, "Alas, for the day is great. For that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of him, but they shall serve the Lord their power, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them.
That's right.
Therefore fear not, thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid."
That's right. No, stop right there. That's another scripture that Elder Garab will bring that scripture in the past. And basically, they said that Israel would dwell alone in safety.
That's right.
So how could those people be the people of the Lord?
That's right. And they the reason why people believe that they're the people of the Lord when you by Google.
Media.
Right. That media. I'll put the picture back up.
Because we can imagine the amount of books, and then don't forget about the fact, because if you put up the textbooks and who runs and control that, it's going to be
that's all of them too. The publishers did the same thing, and this goes into Isaiah the 47th chapter, the 12th verse. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so, thou mayest prevail. You go look at the word sorceries. All right, that's kasap. All right, and you're going to click on that. And this is what they've been doing. They do this through multiple ways. All right, but that's sorcery, witchcraft, magic, all right, incantations, all right. When you every time you turn on, matter of fact, they tell you by the TV, what they call them, TV what programs,
right.
They call you TV.
Just saw a children's book that was full of prayers on how to pray to demons. Got an image of a demon on it with the little kid hat with the
That's complete wickedness.
with
man.
the you know how they put what's that old school hat?
The
No, the old school hat that had the little
The
propeller
top hat.
on it. So they stuck a propeller on one of the old school hat with the propeller.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. And they stuck that on the demon, and it just showed you different prayers and the different demons and how to pray to them.
Just in
And
chat.
this is a child's book, man. As a matter of fact, I plan on doing a sit down on it.
Hey, that's why. Can I bring out the scripture
Absolutely.
real quick? Hey, this is Ephesians, all right, 6 and verse 12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness
in
in
the high
high
places.
places."
That's right. You can't get no higher than what they're doing. Those elites that was in this picture right here, what they do is they get together collectively and individually, put out on every one of these networks shows that backs up their ultimate agenda. That's what they do. That's why it's called a program, from pro, which means forth, and to graph, to write. They put forth and write in your mind their will, and their things that they want. They socially condition you, and to be and soften you. They did it with homosexuality. If you go back 30, 20, 30 years ago.
Trigger words, keywords.
That's right. And before 30, 40 years ago, if you was a homosexual, you get beat up at school. But little by little, they started putting in hidden. Even started with the cartoons.
It's totally true, because when we was coming up, you would guys would get roughed up for being there.
That's right.
All right.
Shit, when I was coming up.
And
That's why they were in the closet.
that's why they were caught in the closet.
Yeah.
And the guy, and because you know, everyone would find out or hear about that dude after high school. Is now he's gay.
He moved
It's
out
like
of
what?
state. He moved out of state.
It's like who? What? Because you would never know it, because they kept that to themselves when they was in school. Some of them even had a girlfriend and everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some got kids and stuff shit too. And, who was at the funeral with from my dog, and you remember when the preacher started talking homosexuals, his brother and several other people got up and walked out pissed off as hell. You know what I'm saying? And then one of his brothers, he got kids, but he found and talked true to you just like the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, and they got offended. They went up to the preacher and told the preacher why he preaching the eulogy. Hey, we gotta hold that down, bro. You gotta hold that down, bro. Because he went in on the gay shit.
Yeah.
In the church at the funeral.
Yeah.
And this is the church.
It's at the funeral home, but the same thing. It's the
They basically
preacher's
told,
the church.
they told the preacher he had to be PC.
That's
for
right.
their sermon, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I got an uncle like that. There's a big fruity ass, big swole fruity ball head nigga, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? Look, hold on, real quick. He got a daughter. The nigga had AIDS since the fucking 80s. The nigga got preserved judgment. Hey, and I told him I was in 2007. I told him I was an Israelite, man. You know what he told me? I knew that shit since the 90s. I was going down there, but shit, they couldn't deal with that. And all them in there, they ain't married yet, that world sense of marriage, so they can't really judge me about doing this, because he's dealing with the Brewing niggas even back in the 90s.
So he knew he was Israelite and everything. Yeah,
and everything, man.
Yeah,
The Most
Lord.
High gonna get rid of that nigga,
Yeah,
man.
the Lord got a special punishment.
Yeah, because before it was looked at as a mental disorder. So I believe in the 70s, and they said it's not a mental disorder anymore. So they were slowly making it okay for it,
They trying to do the same thing with pedophilia.
Yep.
But if you could you
That's next.
got something, brother?
Can I finish this? Because I wasn't.
Kind of.
Like it. This is Isaiah 47:12 again. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, which is one of the reasons why those insurrections are going to get higher, because these people have fallen hook, line, and sinker. That's why they're going to say they're going to complain about ungodly father, because they're going to be like, again, we've been hoodwinked, we've been bamboozled. You know what I'm saying?
Find out that everything, all these lies they've been fed into.
Right. But But they got it from these enchantments, these sorceries, which thou labored from thy youth, since we were born into this shit. If that so be thou be able to profit, if so thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers and monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. And guess what? These prognosticators ain't gonna save Jake. They ain't gonna save Esau. They ain't gonna save nobody. They're only gonna be for themselves because they are only the prognosticators. These are your prognosticators. What's that picture again? These are your monthly prognosticators. These are your stargazers. They only save themselves.
And they're not gonna be able to do that.
That's right.
Because all of them going into change.
That's Job. That's the book of Job. That's right.
Quick one. Nahum 3 and 4 says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that sell nations through her whoredoms.
That nation, she is directed by these people. This is who directs the whore. This is who directs. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up that picture of that picture on a whore. Go ahead, brother.
Witchcraft is that same word, kabash.
Kabash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That's right.
All right. No, and it says, and families through her witchcrafts. And it says, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock.
That's right. Out of all the reenactments of the whore on top of the beast, why she's also always some white bitch, right? Because she represents America, that you can do what you want to do, you can live how you want to live, you can worship what you want to worship. You can, this is that vibration, and this is who she listens to. Esau, Edom, and these guys on, and they push their agenda to allow you to be homosexual, allow you to believe in democracy, allow you to think that everybody's equal. You can worship anything that you want to worship. You don't have to worship the Heavenly Father. You can do whatever you want to do and don't have to be responsible unless you hurt one of them.
Yep. And it said they're wearied in their counsels, right? And then this Psalms 83 and 2, it says, lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So this is part of that council of these elite and those that they're using, like that picture you just had up on there. That picture. All right. This is part of the council. All right, that they take to hide who the true Israelites are, and that's why the elder Karab pointed out this scripture here in Hosea 1 and 10. It says, yet the children, the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. That's right. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
That's how you prove the truth people are. There ain't nobody. People believe that these Amaleks would call himself a Jew. He's really not. Right? They believe that he's the people, man.
Exactly.
But so-called niggas say, "No, we the real Jew." People like, "No, you're not."
Right. See, but the prophecy says that in the place where it was said, "Ye are not my people," all right, in the same place, it's going to be said that no, you actually are the children of the Most High God.
And it's kind of being said already. But you know what? Those networks that's owned by all those imposters, they're gonna broadcast it on there. They're gonna be forced to say it. They're gonna be forced to say
They already started to say it here and there. There's been more and more Jewish rabbis coming out saying that the real people of Israel are the so-called Negro, African so-called Negro descent. There's been many. Matter of fact, I'll pull up one just for evidence.
Hey, while you're doing that, can I read the scripture? The second Esdras chapter 6, verse 28 says, "As for faith, it shall flourish; corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. All right. See, and the truth was so long without fruit because of these wicked counsels. All right. Because they said that, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, you're the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And of course you're not the Israelites. Of course you're not the children of God. All right? See, this is why the truth was so long without fruit. All right? Because they had been, they were the wicked that covered the truth with a lie. Yes, sir.
Proverbs 12 and 19. Truth shall be established forever. And tongue for a moment.
See, right? That's just for a moment, man. Just like it says that the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. Right? All right? Just like it said about the Israelites, it says, for your light affliction is but for a moment. And part of that affliction was having them over us, lying to us. All right? Them telling us that, they were the children of God and we was just some niggas, spicks and time toes. They lied about everything.
That's right.
I mean,
no. I'm Luke 8:17. For nothing that should not be made manifest.
Well, if you make the assumption that the human race arose like around
1 second.
Nothing is secret that should be made manifest. Anything hid that should not be known and come abroad.
Yeah, hey, the Lord's eyes, the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun.
and
That's right.
skin color.
I was going for a moment. Now we at your end, so Lord have you dealt with being exposed.
And he's using his men first and foremost because he's resting the Holy Spirit upon men to bring back, the all things to your remembrance. All right, that Holy Spirit, and he's also using the devil, his own people to expose them, like it says, in that Psalms.
Psalm 64, 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
See, and that's all through the Spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He says, man's goings are of the Lord. So even when they have, one of their own selves, all right, expose themselves, all right, that was part of the prophecies and what the scriptures say was going to happen, man, because this devil is going down. It's time for him to be exposed in all facets, man.
That bring his power down right there.
That's it. Yep.
Yes. He basically use these lies and deceits to that power.
That's about 10 and 8. I got one real quick. This is going to what you brother just getting into. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. And this wicked is being revealed, and he's being destroyed with the spirit of his mouth, man. That's why Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah said he was unclean lips, man. And the Lord put the spirit on him to teach. Amos said that he was what? He wasn't a prophet nor the son of the prophet. The Lord put the spirit on him to teach. The Lord gave the elect remembrance in the latter days to reveal this man so that he can be brought down, and he's destroying it with the brightness of his coming. Starting with this word onto the chariots, man.
And there are probably hundreds of videos at this point of Edomites and other heathens admitting that the Negroes, Latinos and Natives are indeed Israelites, and hundreds of books have been written on the subject matter going back 300-400 years, all the way back to the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
13 tribes.
Matter of fact, that being one of them, can I read the scripture?
I was just going to say there's a precedent. Even when I was just looking right now, I did this not too long ago and did a video on it and have multiple videos. And now I can't even find them. I got to go I had to go deep to go find a goddamn video to prove the point. It's like they're suppressing the shit.
This is right. They're trying to they control the information. Job 15 and 6 says, thine own mouth condemned thee, and not I.
That's right.
Yeah, thine own lips testify against thee. So there you start taking up relics in different books and different, a lot of these Edomites are just giving you the skinny, man, because the Lord is putting the spirit on them to do so. If we could, brother, go back to that video. It's kind of moving back towards the
kind. I was about to put one quick picture.
That's spiritual because that I like the fact that that you see the spiritualness in Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah working the spirit and setting it up that these prophets, the Gooch, and everybody else tell you the people of the Lord, because Jake has been beat down so much they can't take it coming from another person that look like them, that they the people of the book. The Most High got to put it on the so-called white man.
To tell them, right?
To tell them that, man.
Unfortunately, man. Hey, but that's for the wicked, man. Because the Most High said that he may run that readeth it. You got the spirit of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Harakakadash. You hear that we are the Israelites and we got greater hope in this motherfucking wicked ass space right here. You don't dump on it, man. But you haven't looking for something better than this, man. Hate this goddamn place, man.
Yeah, we all should feel that way.
That's right. But the righteous feel that way. That's how we know who the righteous are. They're the ones signed. That's why the Lord said, set a sign and a seal upon them that are sighing and crying and for all the abominations in this fucking place, man.
That's right. Yep. It's one who seeks the truth and he will pardon it.
That's right. That's right. And this is Psalms 85:11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and the righteousness shall look down from heaven. So you got these icons, you got these artifacts, you got these books, you got the Most High gave us the internet, and through the internet, we're bringing out video after video, artifact after artifact, historian after historian, of scripture after scripture, spirit after spirit, oral tradition after oral tradition. You're so overwhelmed, you saw with the truth, that the only way you won't believe the truth if you are got a strong delusion to believe the lie.
And I was going to say that's why they have no cloak.
That's right.
Nobody has no cloak for their sin. The Lord used the men of the Lord to bring out the truth, and the Lord used these Edomites. The Lord, the Most High speaketh once, yet twice, yet man perceiveth it not. So whether you get it from us or a heathen, the truth is still out there.
That's right.
It ain't no fucking excuse.
All things are double.
That's right. See, what the thing is, when the Most High reveals the real truth, that's what's going to cause the insurrections. The Edomites starting to see, wait a minute. We've been doing all the social distancing. We've been you said we've been taking your stimuluses, and I'm still broke. You said you was going to hold back my rent, and now I still do. Oh, you said that. Oh, you're going to open up all the stores. You're going to open everything. Oh, I can go back to the movie theaters. Oh, I can go back to church. Oh, but I can't sit for 6 feet from the next motherfucking person.
And how are all these places of business going to operate under those circumstances? They're not going to match. This is a total pandemic, man. Dave Hodges, Shaki put that video. I had to do a response to it today, man. But that video with Dave Hodges, when he said 52% of the small businesses in America are going to be gone within 6 months. No, they're going to be gone before then.
That's right.
They're going to be gone before then, man. And one thing is factual is that small business is the backbone of the American workforce, man. So who the hell are these people to get to say that these people are essential and they're not? Like the woman who was throwing a fit.
Yeah.
She was throwing a fit and sighing and crying, slim chickens. Right. But what she was saying though was some real shit though. It was, she was like sitting in front of a place where she needed to get her documents for a license and a car, but yet the fast food joint was open behind.
And
it's like how's this essential and this isn't, man?
That's right. I can't go take care of my kids. I can't even go to the link office. I can't even go.
Right, because I think she had a job that needed, but she needed an ID.
Her brother claimed her on her taxes, so she can't get a stimulus check. So she needs to go in other avenues to get money so she can work. So since she was already claimed, because she claimed the daughter as whatever, so she can't get, because someone claimed.
So they screwed up, man.
You can't get stimulus, but that was her fault.
And it's all coming down to this right here. Play this bit of this video. You got a scripture, brother? Bring it out.
It's a witness Solomon, 2 and 11. Let our strength be the law of justice. That was the feeble is found to be nothing worth, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you saw coming up every day with different measures and different versions of what he's going to do. It's all sought for oppression, man.
That's the survival of the fittest mantra right there. Read that again.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 11. It says, let our strength be the law of justice.
So they give the pseudo front like they're all for righteousness. They got the Liberty, Lady Liberty with the blindfolded with equal scales, like she ain't, she's fair and shit. All that's a ruse. It's all full of shit. Go ahead.
That was the feeble. It's found to be nothing worse.
If you're feeble, if you're weak, you ain't worth shit. That's survival of the fittest. That's Darwinism to the extreme. If you're not, what you about to say? Useless eaters. If you're not strong enough to defend yourself out in the forest, if a lion gets you, you was meant to be killed by the lion. Well, if I'm not lying and I'm fucking you over, you can't stop it. That means that's how it's supposed to be.
And that's their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They said, there's an old saying that he with all the gold makes the rules. Well, you can fast forward to the future. He with all the guns makes the rules. And it's not about right or wrong. It's about their might. Right. It's about the military might and that they can force you to do something. It doesn't matter if you're breaking all these different laws that you set up. That's another thing that they do, man. They're complete hypocrites because they formed this constitution, but guess what? You got citizens and police officers out there that are completely and totally divided because you got a lot of Americans that are pro-constitutionalists and a lot of these like that cop who spoke out against this and called it tyranny, man. And you had a lot of cops on his side, and then you got a lot of cops that are against him, man. So that this place is completely and totally divided. But let a little bit of that video play because he says some very important things that are gonna bring forth a lot of edification. Go ahead, let it play.
You guys ready to battle some demons? Welcome to the channel on John X Army. I'm not joking. Are you ready to repel some demons from your front porch? Because they're coming. I'm talking about House Bill 66666. Just got introduced today. Let me tell you what it does. First of all, it secures the funds needed for the equipment and to hire the employees. Their goal is to contact and test everyone. It's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But they're coming to your front porch to do it. They're going to come knock on your door and test you and your family. Now here's where it gets sticky. They're coming with mobile testing units, mobile quarantine units. They test you or your little girl or your little boy or your loving wife or husband, maybe your mother and father, and somebody tests positive. If there's not a separate bathroom for each person living in the house, they're going to tell you that the home is not adequate for quarantine. And they're going to have to take some people out of the home and relocate them to other facilities for quarantine.
Which means this is already a complete total setup because of the specs. They know the specs on every house, so they know how many bathrooms are in every place.
And most people, especially Jake, they only have one bathroom. And if they do have two, all right, it's only two, but they got not only 3 people, adults in the house, they got about 15 kids. And not to mention Uncle Junebug, who's slightly mental and living in the basement. So get the fuck out of here, man.
Right. They set up that. They basically set you up to fail that one.
Yeah, with the what are they calling it? He's going to talk about it. The tracing, the contact tracing, and they already said how they're contact tracing, and they follow and they released one guy, and I guess they started this in another country or something.
I'm about to go.
But the guy went to they shut us down.
No. They're playing with me. On the search engines, Google playing.
Oh, okay. But the guy, they had one guy that went to 5 different clubs to celebrate, and they tracked him and found out he had been in contact with 80 people. So now they're gonna go and search out all 80 of those people. Right? He went to because the night that they released them to be free in that country, he went to 5 different nightclubs.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, and so then they figured out that he came in contact with at least 80 people. So all those people now are on the list to be contacted, to be traced. All right, and so there you go. And then not only that, most people believe, and I do believe, that the kids are tainted.
Oh yeah,
right?
Of
The
course.
president of Tanzania put the whole world on blast. Put it on blast because he took the test kits. All right, when they sent the test kit to him, he tested out on the plant and the animal, and they both came back positive.
Yep.
He said, "Get that shit out of my country." So that. But you know what is funny? That conglomerate of Jewish-owned media people that we saw, they didn't put any of that in their media at all.
Right? Oh no, it
you have to go
there.
to the internet to find that.
No,
but yet it was world news. None of these people put the fact that the test kit was tested on a flower and on a damn animal, and it came back positive. So I guess the poor flower wasn't
social distancing,
and the poor animal wasn't social distancing. Exactly.
Go ahead, brothers. It's Daniel 8:25. Perfect. Daniel 8:24. It says that his power shall be mighty. Speak up. It says his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and holy people. He's already did that once. He's already conquered. But hey, look at how long he's been conquering since since Alexander, man. He's been in power since then.
Actually went down for 1,000 years. Dark Ages.
Through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes. He shall be broken without end. And that's what this guy does, man. He goes in, he sets up puppet governments. He prospers through those lies, man. He sets up all this bullshit. It's like playing Monopoly with somebody who keeps changing the rules on you. You know, you start winning. Oh, we got some new changes.
You went up to 2 points? Okay, you know what? You no longer can shoot from inside of the free throw line. You only can shoot behind the free throw line. Oh, now it's behind the 3-point line. Well, you know what? You can't even come past half court. Yeah, Slack it.
No, it's meant to be.
Is it? Slack it. I just want to play a snippet of this. Let's play a snippet of this. This is the evidence of them coming to get people out of their crib. This is in Canada.
My boss is here as well. He was so why is it shitty? Why is this? You want stuff? Yes. This is my uniform. This is what they need to wear every day. They told us, we're gonna check on you. I'm like, come like this. Come like this.
Now they're mad that they come. Now they brought a mental health person and a health person because these people are seem like they tested or they were not they tested or they weren't about to be tested or something about they were wondering if they need to be tested and be taken to the hospital because they didn't pass something beforehand. And so now they're tripping just because they're coming in police uniforms to come get them and they don't want to go get tested at all. And I'm not gonna play this whole thing, but I'm gonna just let a little bit left play, then I'm gonna jump to about the 11-minute mark where you're gonna see the end result and see if all this talking that they're doing trying to get them to leave them alone is gonna work or not.
I think this happened.
This is in Canada. Yeah.
Someone, this normal. My boss tells me this is what I have to wear. This is what I have to wear. So this is what I wear. That's what they've given us, right? What they've given us. It's called the uniform. So they want to see my apologies. My apologies for coming at a time that's not going to be. I was going to let you know. You have some questions for me. And now the reason why we're here, I called my team yesterday. They submitted a report based on your interactions. We have some concerns for your well-being and your safety. Okay. So keep a critical actually. When we are approaching jobs, we'll send them all our demands. They don't need, they will do it ignoring
I'm gonna jump 5 minutes up.
We are not
Again, you're something coming to your opinion.
There's no
There's no
other
other
way
way
to
to
look
look
at it.
at it.
Again, I'll explain it one last time. I give you the company us.
You come at night like a thief.
Okay. Again, we're not here to get into a debate. We're not going to get into any call. Okay. I'm an unbiased source, and I'm doing this strictly for the concern of your safety, and that's why I vote.
Are we threat to anyone?
She said, "Are we a threat to anyone?"
This is what the cop was talking about. This sort of action is going to make the people rise up and come against. And the cop said that they're going to wake up a sleeping beast, a sleeping giant here in America. And he said he's angry because he said you're making me put me in danger as I go out, because people are going to get angry at law enforcement and lash out at law enforcement. And he said, and then he talked about, and all these people like this guy, they haven't been to combat. He was a combat veteran, and he said he had fought in Iraq and in Afghanistan, and he said those people will
I'm pulling it up.
Right, and he basically says that the people of America are going to fight harder than you ever seen the people fight overseas and anywhere when you start, because they're losing too much. And he said and he said the spirit of well, I just let him speak.
I'm letting him speak for a minute.
It's like it probably starts around the 8th minute when he starts talking.
In America, because I'm more privileged than the.
I'll start it with about a 1 minute. I'll let him run for about a minute. I'll jump ahead in this one. Get to advice.
Your chain of command things. You don't get to trample on people's liberty. And so, for me, I come from a department that I feel asking people.
There you go. That's good.
Doing these tyrannical acts against our citizens. You're not ready for combat. You're not mentally or physically ready for combat in the first place. I promise you don't want to go through that. And I hope I never have to go through that again.
So he knows that there's a civil war.
You don't get to just say, well, I'm doing this because I was told to do so, or I'm following orders, or I need to keep this job. Like I have the same sob story that the rest of you guys have, but my personal choices and my living arrangements, no matter what they are, don't allow me to trample on people's rights. And I don't understand why that concept is so hard for people to understand. Listen, you need to stand up for what's right. You need to, if you're part of a department or an agency that is asking people or asking their officers or their deputies to impose on people's rights and infringe on their freedoms, you need to step up and say, no, that's not me. That's not what I signed up for, and that's going against my oath. And if that costs you your job, so be it. At least you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror. I've already expressed this to my department. And luckily for me, I come from a department that I feel like my chain of command shares my view, but I don't care what department you're part of or what your chain of command thinks. You don't get to trample on people's liberty. And so
because that flag, that yellow flag, don't tread on me. That's what those Minutemen militia motherfuckers, that's what they wave. Don't tread on me. He's juiced in on the inside.
Texans too.
And I got
those diehard militia people, diehard Constitution.
He's one of them. You can tell.
And many police officers are. Probably about half the people on the police force are also militias. How many times? And a lot of people that are in the military are also part of militias.
I got 2 Ezra 15 and 16.
Perfect.
I was gonna say, pursuing back with regards to the
but hold it. I mean, just hold it. Let them talk a little bit more, then bring it out because we were going there anyway. That's what.
And we're going to show you with the last couple of minutes of the other one the end result, because
they go together. That's right. They go together. Let's do it.
As a special operations veteran, I've fought on the streets of Iraq for under the U.S. government's guise of freedom. And
just for the record, a lot of policemen are ex-military too. So that's why a lot of them stay in that militia vibration, because that's all they know.
I will probably say the average guy that comes out of the military,
Yep.
goes to law enforcement.
Yep.
Average.
Yep. Good overwhelming percentage. Yeah.
He fought under the guise of freedom.
Because they know what they follow. All these people don't watch the real news, the bloggers, the people who have been on the front lines. They listen to these guys who ain't been on the front line. Where hold on, these motherfuckers ain't been on the front line of Wendy's. Goddammit, you know what I'm saying? They don't know struggles. They don't know fighting. They don't know if any one of these was on the street, they would get killed and murdered and beat down in a second. They don't know struggles. Each one of these are the motherfuckers who will jump off these buildings and commit suicide if they lost their fortunes, man. All right, they don't know no trouble, man. That's the scriptures to say that. They say they're not in trouble like other men are. Somebody get that and have that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you what. The American people are going to be. You are going to wake a sleeping giant, and they are going to fight 10 times harder for their freedom on their soil than anything you've ever seen before. And if that's something,
not only are they sleeping giants, that's scriptural. You can stop it right there because that's that. Capo.
Yes, sir. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
There you go, man. So this is going to bring a lot of death, blood, and chaos. All right, on top of and that's just the civil unrest due to the harsh regulations. We're not even talking about the food and race riots.
Right.
That's you also got to, man. This is, like I said, it's going to be a time like never before, man.
Right.
All right, even the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, and Jacob's trouble is not just Jacob's trouble; it's everybody's trouble, man. All right, Jacob's trouble spells the end of Babylon. That's right. Because that's the end result of it, which also means that Esau is getting ready to move on us and start putting his hands on the elect.
That's right.
And so if everything else that we've read in the scriptures that come to pass, what do you think is going to happen when he starts putting his hands on the men of the Lord?
Right.
So we're almost out of here, man.
Or that when they put their hands on us, that's it. Now, it's basically you don't know you done fucked up, right? Because the scripture says, somebody give me that in Isaiah. When they come on you as a flood, then the Most High is going to lift up that standard. Someone get that one real quick. And that's my first record. Let me just finish this little video right here. I'm going to jump from.
Put it right to the action.
Yeah, kind of jump from here.
The easier the things go. You're not being charged with interest. This has nothing to do with any Can I explain something? This has nothing to do with your standpoint, your beliefs, what's going on with your.
So I'm a Hebrew, like they don't give no fuck. I'm a Baptist, they don't give no fuck. I don't believe in God, I don't believe in America, I don't give no fuck. I'm a patriot, I don't give no fuck. Esau's gonna say I don't give no flying fucks.
And these are the type of cops that the other cop was talking about.
That's right.
Because they know that what they're doing is wrong, but they don't care.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
I was gonna say, you see how he's being so cordial,
because they
when it comes to you niggas, you can fucking forget about it, man.
Right. We can just go to the video where they had the one dude in the hospital.
Well, when they were beating the hell out the little 14-year-old boy, the 200-pound man, sitting on the chest, beating up a little 195-pound, 14-year-old boy, man.
That's right. They coming in there like fucking New Jack City.
That's
when
right.
They coming you niggas, man.
That's right.
You know, it's gonna be rock.
Yeah, they gonna butt stroke your woman right in the face too. Man.
That's right. That's right.
Shoot the dogs.
That's right. And that's scripture. The scripture says the course of their actions will stand in their power. They're gonna do however they feel like that day. If they irritated, they want to be out here, get mad, somebody spit in their face, they taking it out on you.
That's right,
nigga. That's why the Lord says,
right.
Make peace.
Don't let your wife and your daughter be attracted.
Oh man, they might just run them. You said yes. You said no. You said no. No. No.
One last comment on that on your own.
You're being nice.
And say, no, wait a minute, they're going to get him tested for his safety. Then why you got to lock him? Why you got to put him in the handcuffs? This is for your safety. But I didn't do nothing. You're not under arrest. But then why are you putting handcuffs on me? You're not under arrest. This is for your safety. We really care about you. This is how you care about me? This is what you do? This is love. This is love.
Right.
Where my goddamn it? I'll say
Right. That's as bad as to stop resisting.
Yeah.
When you're not resisting and they're beating you anyway.
If you really scared of somebody that supposedly had this virus, you would be masked up and gloved up.
Right.
You
That's the
taking
same
no
that
chances.
So these men are they're enforcing the tyrannical rule, the unconstitutional rule in violation of people's rights. That this even though it's in Canada, Canada's got its own constitution as well, which I am sure is being violated.
And taking his own personal stuff that he had around his neck. Why we got to take that off? That's his stuff.
Run through his drawers, through his wallet. Then tell him what they're gonna take.
Right. But this is the end result of Bill 8666. Now, just if it came in contact that you work with, you work at Walmart. Yes, I do. You know Selena Biles? Yes, I do. Well, Selena Biles' cousin came to visit her, and that cousin had found to be COVID. And she was your cousin at the house, and now she came to work with you. We have rights to come and get your ass and send you over to a quarantine, send you over testing.
And it's that little gremlin in the middle of the screen.
Yeah.
Who's behind it all.
Hey, do you know what his name means? Fauci. You know his name means in his etymology? Sickle.
Khan.
Sickle. So it's just like the harvest time.
The harbinger of death.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me pull it up.
I clean that bastard for the kingdom too. He gonna have a rough 1,000 years, man.
See, name
man, every lifetime.
Oh, yeah, brother. You know what? I think we're gonna have to spread him around. He's going to be one of those Edomites that get spread around from camp to camp.
On an overnight trip.
Yeah, he's gonna go to the 144 tour.
You know you're going. Right. You know, spend the night in somebody else's plantation.
He's gonna have trouble breathing.
Fun house.
Oh man, yo, he's gonna Ralli's fun house. He's gonna meet the wall. He's gonna be a camp trail of tears. He's gonna get all of
Camp Couple Rab.
Camp Couple Rab. That's right. This is Fauci. Fauci is an Italian surname. It's derived from the Sicilian word for sickle, and originated for occupational surname for the makers of sickles. So him and his bloodline is known to be a sickle, and a sickle. I'll give you if for those who don't know what a sickle looks like, it's something that you harvest with, and you glean things. You cut
the Lord said He gonna stick in the sickle.
That's right.
All right.
That's a sickle. But that's
remember the children of the corn. That's what they were killing everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And Esau named in the pure Hebrew, going back to his forefather Cain, is Kayan, which means the sword. All right. Esau original name means the sword. He's a killer. So everything that Fauci is promoting is to kill you. By name, he means to kill you. All right? That's right.
Yeah. And that's what his blessing was,
Genesis 27.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
By the sword thou shalt live. 40, Genesis 41, 27, 41.
Just talk about how the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and He giveth it to whomsoever He please, even the basis of men. All right, for a time. All right, and they
after the wicked, but for a moment.
I got a quick one. Did you bring out that second Ezra? I got another one in Second Ezra chapter 16, and I'll start at 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses."
And this way they're wasting, taking their goods is they're bankrupting Middle America. You know how many so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans got mom and pop shops, spas, salons, barbers shops, and all kind of shit. And right now, they're not going to be able to recover from this bullshit. All right. Not only not they're going to be able to recover for financially from it, they're going to end up taking that vaccine because they're forcing people to get tested and forcing forced vaccinations on people, and that's that they're going to be spreading that death.
That's right. And Salaki,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, and those, and just like the guy in John X Army, if we can go back to that video.
No, I'm about to say, Lord Michael said, you get no vaccination, your ass ain't going back to work.
And so that's exactly what exactly. So they're gonna force people to do this, and those vaccinations, which they want to do come this fall, late this fall, man.
That's what, right.
Those vaccinations are good. That's how they know that it's going to be a second wave, because the vaccinations are going to give it to the vaccinations and the test kit.
Yep. Can I read a little bit of this real quick? This is just because the came back to this article. Benjamin Netanyahu suggests microchipping kids slammed by experts. One of the experts said off the rip, and I'm going to go to the article just a little bit. It doesn't take much. It comes right off the top. The information with the kids located in is uploaded to the internet file with some cyber knowledge may invade the system and stalk them, trying to say why you should microchipping and so forth like that, which they don't give a fuck about none of that. But just to go into the article, just look at that dictator ass. All right, he's Roman Caesar. He's one of the former Caesars too. This is cyber expert slam Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for his proposal to microchip children who returns to schools and kindergartens as the corona lockdown is lifted, Ynet reported on Friday. While speaking at a press conference on Monday, Netanyahu suggested the health ministry use use new technology. Blame Malcolm. I learned it from him. Use new technology to help. Yes, you sure did. To help Israel adjust to its new routine as the state is lifting the coronavirus lockdown. That is technology that has not been used before and is allowed under the legislation we shall enact. So we're going to make this law. He clarified. I spoke with our heads of technology in order to find measures Israel is good at, such as sensors. For instance, every person, every kid. That lets you know that's Revelation 13 right there, 15 and 16 and 17. He said small and great. He said, I want everybody. But specifically, he was talking about the kids. I want it on kids first. He said, I want to trip the kids first. All right. That's why that goes to Deuteronomy 28 when he says you should have no care for the young or the old. You don't give a damn. We would have sensors that would sound an alarm when you get too close, like the ones on cars, the Prime Minister said. So if you imagine that, the kids out playing around, we can't even play jump rope and shit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a 12-foot jump rope and somebody be in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? That shit is stupid, man.
That's ridiculous, man. And then, you know what was that? Revelation 16:4?
Yeah.
Is it 16:4 when it says that the grievous sore?
16.
Yeah. So you people that take that mark, man, once you take that chip, it is going to destroy you, man.
Okay. Well,
all right.
No, I was just talking about Murphdale and Black Mirror, White Christmas.
Oh, the one we was watching with White Christmas. I was thinking about that.
Shit was fucking.
That was with the adults, but they had another one with the kid where the lady put it in her kid, and then she grew up to monitor her with it, and like the brother just said, walk around and be like, she walked past a dog or something that bothered her as a kid. Her mother just pull out the laptop, control it because she got the chip in her forehead. She control it and block it out. You know, then she had to say like anything that disturbs the mind. But that White Christmas episode,
they can block you and you'll be blurred and shit.
The time perception.
Yeah,
they like play 1,000 years in 1 hour in your head, and you repeating the same torment. And this did that chip a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, because it goes into your system. It'll start affecting your neurons. The use of a chip can make you, when your arm couldn't work, now it works. So they can put things in, and you can control it, and they can control you. They can put information into the chip and make you do some shit that you wasn't trying to do. They can send a signal to that chip and say smack him, and your arm just smack somebody.
Make them God.
Right, exactly. Right. They can set MK Ultra Oh, you get the perfect sniper right there.
Like the movie Upgrade.
Yeah.
Hey, they had one, they had like 3 or 4 episodes of Black Mirror about the chip, but it shows you different scenarios of how they use it. They had one with the one with the mask, and when they was in the army, they called the chip the mask, and the dude in the villages they called them roaches because they had these monsters out of them. But one of the dudes, the black dude out of everybody, you know, he got into a brawl with them when they went to the house. He dropped his gun, and one of the roaches, the monsters, roughed them up and shit and stabbed them with some shit.
That was basically the people without.
And then, exactly. And when they stabbed him with some shit, it was a cure that fucked with the mask and the chip in his head. And when he seen it, the roaches, they were regular people, but they had the army had the RFID chip in their head. So when they went to the village,
oh yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, they seen them contaminated, man.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah, that was on Black Mirror flip. That was demonic as hell, man. But that's why the scripture said is they gonna be as madman spirit none. Because everybody in the army gonna take the chip.
Oh yeah, I mean, because they're thoroughly brainwashed. Motherfuckers in the army. The one girl I knew was in the National Guard and about to go get she was getting deployed the next day, a couple of weeks ago, and I told her, I was like, look, you don't want to do that. Whoever did that, they're gonna send you to war and you're gonna end up killing you by the fam. You better say you can't go. She said, no, I can't do that. That'll be against my duty. That'll be against my moral fibers. I have to go. This is what's needed. I'm like, okay, well, according to
she gonna have a flashback of that conversation.
Oh, no, I told her it's against the Bible, and whoever's attacked them is gonna die. She said she don't believe in the Bible.
Well, there you go. Well, she gonna believe in it. She gonna believe in it right before she dies that violent, painful death.
Recognize it when you see it.
All right. By pain.
But real quick, so give me that revelation. We're gonna wrap it up.
The second chapter.
Oh no! Actually, I want to see that John X first. A lot. Go back to that John X video. Yeah.
Or if they come and test you, and you refuse to quarantine, they're going to put you in the mobile quarantine unit. And they're going to take you to a facility where they can adequately handle you.
Right, and that's called a FEMA camp.
House Bill 6666.
And that name is just perfect. Yeah, somebody get Revelation 13 and the last verse just for the name alone, because he said, "He that has wisdom knows this." Why would the Lord give you that? Because evidences to the mark of the beast is going to be. He's leading you to evidence that's proving what the mark of the beast is. But we got a good question.
Revelation 13. I started 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
666.
To a facility where they can adequately handle you. House Bill 6666. Look it up. Read it. Now, let me tell you what's even worse. If we allow this to happen, and we're okay with it, let me tell you what the next bill is going to be. It's going to be a bill allowing them to come to your door and vaccinate you. And if you refuse, they're going to lock you up. And they're going to take you to a facility where you're going to get re-educated and vaccinated. Mark my words. If we allow this, that's their next step. I don't know what they're trying to do. But they're going to force a civil war to happen in this country.
Yep. Stop right there. Go back to that. Go to what's it? 2nd Ezra 6 and 24, I believe. So
yeah. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 24. It says, "And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies."
Like, so these cops, these militias, they're going to be fighting against other military, other cops, fighting against, the mayor going to be fighting against his former constituents. It's getting ready to go down. Go ahead.
It says, "And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still."
And so as the famine cuts in, the springs of the fountain is talking about the water supply, man. there's going to be no water, no food out here.
Hey, that's right.
And what's going to come of that too? Another thing that's going to be thrown into into the mix here is cannibalism. All right, it's cannibalism, and like we've always tell you, man, a lot of your law enforcement are also a part of these militias on the screen. A lot of your military, current active duty or reserve military are loyal members to militias as well. All right, loyal to America, loyal to the Constitution, and loyal to their so-called whiteness, and they are going to fight you to the death. All right,
loyal to their whiteness. That's right. Their pinkness.
To their pinkness. There's no such thing as white. That's
all
the
those
thing.
pink.
They always screaming white, ain't shit white about them. It goes to show you that their lie IQ has failed them.
That's right.
But real quick, let's get this last script. Give me that Revelation 16 about the result of taking that mark, because
Revelation chapter 16, verse. I'll start at 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple.
It's 4, but go ahead.
Saying to 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth. And there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast.
There you go. That noisome and grievous sore. So all you people that take that, you're gonna basically, it's probably cancer.
That's right.
Because you got a foreign object in your body that's messed chemistry, and you don't know what the result of it, and you don't know what's in it. They can put mercury in it. They can put down what's that? The secret agent.
Yeah. Secret. Go ahead, suck it.
Now, say they did a pill that they get an agents. They get cyanide because it kills you instantly. Okay. So or you know what, they even got to do that because you're going to be linked to a society that
cut you off.
That all they do is cut you off, and now you can't buy, sell, you can't do anything.
Yeah, that was that block on that episode of Black Mirror. They blocked him. They let him out of jail, but they blocked him for the rest of his life, and so he couldn't. Even if he tried to talk to anybody, they got the chip. Yeah, they can't hear him, they can't see him, and they read them, so they know he was a pedophile or something like that. So he's just like this.
Well, yeah, it's like this white screen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's like a white screen, and nobody actually sees him. They see that somebody there, just a white screen. Hey, he cut off, so can't fuck with him.
Right, but when you look at it, naturally speaking, you want to go to Jules, go get you some food, can't do it.
Right.
Want to go to McDonald's, can't do it. Want to go to the gas station, can't do it.
If you that white screen, you can't do
you can't
interact,
anything.
you can't buy.
So you're gonna be, and then so if you don't know nature, you don't have land, you don't have a whip, you don't got things, you're gonna be totally fucked. You know what I'm saying? And now they got these black militias coming up, and trust me, if you notice the pictures of white militias, there's a whole 1,000 different pictures. Ain't a whole bunch of black militias. It's like, would you say it again? You're not ready for the bro.
Man, this devil got drones that can take out city blocks. You stupid ass niggas with your outdated fucking machine guns. They ain't even machine guns. Your outdated shotguns.
What the fuck she gonna do?
Semis, man. Hey man, this devil gonna motherfucker. Man, this devil gonna
she gonna be a ghetto gagger. She gonna be a ghetto gagger for a unit of militia. That's what she gonna.
That's it.
That's right.
Ain't got no edges.
Right.
You know what they gonna do?
Hey, the scripture says. Hey, the scripture says, "And no man shall save you." You know what I'm saying? Right. So this punishment that we're in, only Yahweh Shai could save us, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get no malicious. You ain't gonna get to come against the actual sword.
That's Esau's blessing.
Right.
That's right.
That's Esau's blessing anyway. So you niggas, you playing the Lord short if you think you can take it down Esau with the blessing that
he was given. It's like that scene in what was it? I believe it was one of the Bruce Lee movies was Chinese Connection or Return of the Dragon when he was whooping the cats in the alley with the nunchucks. And then the idiot picked up the nunchucks and tried to use
laid
himself out.
Yeah. He knocked himself out because he said, boom, and he finished himself off. That's my shit right there.
So that's that's what we are. Go ahead.
Look at these motherfuckers train. They have courses where they come and train. They got nurses in the woods. They're used to. They're ready for. They're hardened. What Bruce Lee say? since we're speaking to Enter the Dragon, I'm not afraid of a man who knows 1,000 kicks. I'm afraid of the man who knows one kick and practice it 10,000 times, 1,000 times. If they ran through this course every Friday for the last 10 years, they're going to come into your neighborhood and be very ready when you come across the corner, when you peek your head up the car hood. All this niggas gonna be doing this sideways shooting, blasting shit, half eyes closed. Y'all ain't ready for these niggas. They got little kids out there training in the woods, and that one little girl with them that got the little knuckles hitting the tree, and knock the tree. I'm gonna have to put my just, you never know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers are hardened. They're ready.
They showed you that Bushwick. All they was doing was that urban warfare.
Yeah.
They gonna come. Hey, they gonna. I think somebody saying they. I remember you saying it a while. Hey, Esau gonna roll up in y'all there. They showed you the purge too. They gonna roll up like the Klan. You know what I mean? But they gonna have all their armor on. They ain't gonna have them white sheets like that. They gonna have that fucking armor.
This is the new Klan. This is a new lesson. Title for a lesson. This right here is a new Klan outfit.
That's it. That's how they rolling up, and they gonna take Jake out, man. Jake ain't ready for that. Like how even Buddy said it. Nobody's really ready for that warfare.
They said when Hurricane Katrina happened, a lot of militias they was killing Jake.
Yeah, a lot of them would.
Yeah,
shit.
They did.
It's their pleasure.
This is what a lot of Jake about to see. You're gonna see that, and the next thing you're going to see is the Most High.
This is I got some real quick. This 44 and that was a good one. Psalm 44 and 5. Through thee will we push down our enemies.
Right.
Through thy name we will tread them under that rise up against us.
Right.
For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me.
Right.
But thou hast saved us from our enemies, and thou hast put them to shame that hate us. That's talking about Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's gonna be the one to save us.
That's right.
It.
Right. That wasn't the coward saying that. That was the mightiest word ever do battle, man.
So there it is, man. So the only way out of this is through the men of the Lord and those men of the Lord who are covered by the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Hey, one last scripture? The one Isaiah coming on the flood.
Oh yeah.
Because that's perfect. When they do run in, when the militia step up, the black militia step up, the gangbangers step up, the fucking regular people, the police step up, and all these different factions start to go head to head, then Esau pushed that UN, United Nations National Guard, to come flood in and put his utter smackdown, crackdown. They're gonna start rolling on the men of the Lord and everybody. That's when that happens. This is what the Lord's going to do, and this is what we're looking forward to.
That's right.
All right, we're hoping, and matter of fact, we're hoping this is tomorrow. All right, right now, 5, 3, 2. We're ready now, but we know they have to implement this chip, which this mandatory vaccination is a prelude to the chip. Because once they make it mandatory, then how they're going to track it? They're going to have to track it. Digital certificates. Bill Gates already said it. Oh, that's digital. And how we going to have? We're going to have to get you make it digital that you have in your hand. Not only the Real ID 2020. That's going to by October. Everybody has to have a chip in their ID. Period. Even if it's not time for you to renew, you're going to have to do it. Otherwise, you can't fly, or you can have access to certain amenities. They're about to marry all this shit in to the microchip, where you're not going to be able to. They already got the digital currency set with the stimulus bill. Everything is set up, and you cannot see it. All right, if you're wicked. All right, you have the scripture?
This is Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him.
There it is, man. All right, so when they come, the Lord's going to lift up that standard.
That's right.
And so with that, man, we're going to give all praise, glory, and honor
unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, Abba Babal. Get right.